Hello and welcome to the Three Knocks at Midnight podcast. My name is Gabe,
And I am Gato.
and this is your source for any good stories, ghost stories, urban legends, anything freaky, scary, or horror related. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
Today, we have a special story from Gato.
Yeah, speaking of horror, um, okay, so listen. The last podcast and today's podcast, what we're doing is we're telling people's ghost stories. And some of these we get these stories from TikTok. We've gotten them from Reddit before. We want to get them from you. So again, if you have any stories that you want to share with us that we can like talk about in the podcast, please let us know. Um, let us know in the comment section below. But so the way we do this is we'll listen to these stories and then we'll do uh, a transcription. Is that the right
Yeah,
way to say it?
yeah. Transcription,
Yeah,
yeah, works.
we'll transcribe it basically, but it's not us doing the transcription. Like we don't type it as we're listening because we want to be quick and efficient. So obviously we use uh, websites, ChatGPT and such, right?
Okay.
So today, as I was going through the three stories that we're going to talk about, I was literally on my last one, and I'm using this site that I won't be using anymore. Not because of what happened today, but
Okay.
just because
Okay.
I was using a free trial. Okay, so it's been working great. It's what I used last time. It's what I used for the first two stories that we're talking about today. And as I uploaded this video and it did the transcription for me, when I clicked on it, it didn't quite say what it's supposed to say.
Okay.
In
All right.
fact, it doesn't say anything that is said in the video at all. So I'm gonna share my screen with you, and I'll post a picture for our viewers so that
Okay.
you can see what it actually transcribed.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm ready.
So it starts right,
Okay.
right? This is from that person that says like, "Hey, tell me a ghost story." That sounds completely crazy, but it's entirely true. That's where most of these videos come from. Thank you to that user. But then the rest of the transcription just says, "In this video, I'm going to be talking about ghost stories. I'm going to be talking about ghost stories that I've seen in the past. I'm going to be talking about ghost stories that I've seen in the past." And then it just repeats itself over and over and over and over again, all the way to the end of the video.
Oh, that's a little creepy. I'm getting goosebumps.
Right? So when I saw that, I was just like, oh, like it must have like glitched out or something, right? Like it maybe captured something from the video
Right.
and then it like kind of got stuck on that. So uh I tried it again and it did it again. It happened. It shows the same thing. So um yeah, if we go to the second one here, yeah, it says all the same thing. The very end actually says something else, but like it's part of the story. But everything else just says, "I'm going to be talking about ghost stories that I've seen in the past." This video does not say that anywhere.
What?
I don't know where this came from. It is creepy. It's very creepy, and it doesn't help that I've gone through two very creepy stories before that I was like, checking to make sure that everything made sense, and I was comparing it to the video. Um,
What's weird is
so
that
yeah,
it even has the timestamps.
I know
So it's
it
not like
has the
it
times.
looped the video. It's acknowledging that it's at this timestamp of the video.
Well, and what's funny is that so at every timestamp, I can actually click on the sentence
Yeah.
and it'll
Take you to the
um
audio, right?
yeah, it'll take me to the audio and show me what it's saying. It doesn't say that. It's the actual video. So where it got the sentence from, I don't know, but it's very creepy. Like it kind of creeped me out a little bit. So let's hope.
Ghosts in the machine, as they say. Wow. What a way to start
So
the podcast.
for real.
Holy
Um.
smokes.
So anyway, uh,
On that note,
this is the video that actually I had you work on instead. Because you had a method of getting the transcript, and yeah, I'm gonna be
I'll stick around for that story.
yeah. This might evolve as we'll talk about it next time. See if anything creepy happened.
All right. Our first story is from Vivibite or Vivibite. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong. And the story goes, so growing up, I lived in North Carolina and our house was 1000% haunted. My sister follows me here on TikTok. If she sees this video, she'll corroborate my story because JFC. So when I was little, my dad was overseas. He was in the military. I think I was like 8, maybe 9. No, I was 8. And when he came home, I was like, "Oh, I want to sleep in the bed with Daddy." And he's like, "Yeah, of course." So I slept in his bed and his door was open. And I was up that night late reading with a flashlight because I was like, "Oh, I'm going to blow his socks off reading this book to him." And that night I heard footsteps coming up the stairs, and it was like keys jangling. And so I go under the covers, have the covers up to here, and points to eye level. And in the doorway, I see an apparition of my father. My dad is laying next to me, but I see my dad as plain as day. It makes me sick just thinking about it. He's like a little bit transparent, like I can see through him, but it's my father. It's 2000 glasses of on the back of the head,
Like
spiked up
two,
car.
2000, like the year 2000.
Oh. So it's like New Year's glasses.
Mm-hmm.
It's year 2000 glasses on the back of the head, spiked up cargo shorts with the keys on the carabiner, like it was exactly my dad. Then he starts going, come here, Vivian. That's my name. And I was like, no way. And I put my covers over my head. And when I looked back out, he was gone. I have so many other stories about that house, but that's the one that sticks with me the most because it scared me so bad. Oh, I'll tell you another one. I don't remember this. This was told to me by my dad because I was a baby when it happened. So there are basically three stories at our house. There's the downstairs level that has a pool table, billiards, and we're on the top floor. So 3 floors above that, and I'm like a baby, like baby, sleeping in my crib, can't get out. And then one night my dad hears me crying, and then he goes to my room. Crib is empty, no baby. He starts freaking out, obviously, and he's searching around the house following my cry. I'm downstairs, 3 stories down, on top of the pool table. I'm sat on the pool table, like holding a pool ball, crying. I'm telling you, I was probably around 14 months, 15 months old. You cannot get out of your crib, nor could I walk down all those stairs and then get on top of a pool table. In that house, me and my sisters were on top of the stairs. They're a lot older than me and they know this story. We were on top of the stairs and we were looking down into the darkness. Nobody else was home and we were just playing with a bouncy ball, like throwing stuff around down there. You know how kids are stupid. And we threw a bottle cap down there and it threw it back at us. What? Okay.
Sounds
I'm
sounds
getting
like
some.
sounds okay. This is it's a lot. That's three different things going on here. This house for sure was haunted. Uh,
Okay, that's creepy, dude. That is creepy.
Have you? Yeah, it is. I don't know which of these creeps me out more. The dad apparition, her being on the pool table, like 3 stories down, like below, or a bottle cap getting thrown back at them.
My
Um,
logical side wants to fight now.
Oh, for sure, right? So I mean, the apparition, is- when you wake up. Oh, but that's the thing is like I don't think she was asleep.
You
She
can
was
be half
awake.
asleep and you kind of have like you're in the middle of between dream state and awake state.
Like maybe, yeah, maybe she was starting to like hallucinate like from her dream.
Yeah. Or when you're like super sleepy and you dream about waking up, but then you realize you're actually still sleeping.
Yeah,
You know, it
yeah.
could be that realistic in your mind. Maybe she was asleep and she thought she woke up and saw the dad. That could be that could
It
be what
it could
happened.
it could be. That's the thing is like we don't know, and the thing is like how many people like experience this type of like things. So does that mean that we all just have like a shared dream experience where we see people and we hear things and we think we're awake? Or is there really something out there that comes to people when they're like about to
Nah.
go to sleep? Moving to the next story where she says that she's at the sitting down at the pool table. Like how does that happen? Like did somebody just play a prank on them and
Okay, here. There's this show on Hulu. I don't know. I don't think it's on
Mm,
Hulu.
mm.
Called what is it called? Squatters? It's like a Frogger. That's what it's called.
Frogger.
Yeah.
Not familiar with that.
Or Frogger? Frogging. It's spelled Phrogging. And it pretty much means these people that secretly live in your house without even you knowing. They leave no trace, right?
Oh, like people that live in like between your walls or
Between
like
your walls, in your attic, basement, right? Um, and you'd be surprised how many stories of these are on this show. Like it's on Lifetime, not Hulu.
mm-hmm.
Um, and there's like a whole season of it. Each episode has like 3 stories in them, so it happens a lot. So
That's really scary.
that's real scary.
That's scary in the non-paranormal way
Yeah,
because that's
yeah.
a real person.
Oh yeah.
Like it's a different type of damage that happens to you, right? And
There was a story. Maybe we could save it for another day. But the summary of the story was that they didn't. They had this person upstairs. They would leave the house, and he would come down, make videos, and he had a manifest of what he was gonna do to the family, and he was like this pseudo surgeon, and he was gonna like he explained in this manifest that he was gonna like cut him up, do all this stuff.
that's creepy.
That's very creepy.
And that would be a good story to tell
Yeah,
next
we'll
time.
save that for another day. Yeah, but yeah, but that won't the oh, I mean that could be the only explanation for the bottle cap.
Somebody living in the house, they just can't see.
Like that would explain how the baby was taken and put on the pool table, and then someone throwing the bottle cap back.
But still, 3 things happening. Like, apparently this is one or three of many things that happen in this house. So,
Ah, that's just too creepy
I
though.
mean, I guess
That's way too creepy.
I can see it happening. Either way,
I need to. I'm still a little shaken up from this one, man. But I'll get through it.
don't throw things into dark
Into dark abyss.
places. So yeah, just don't do it.
Okay. This next story is by Feet Queen 93. It's an interesting name. So when I was 19, I moved into this house after a breakup, and I found this room on Facebook Marketplace. This girl was selling her room or whatever, subleasing it, and it was, I think, $250 a month. And I was like, yeah, let's go. So I moved into this place, and it was a very old home. Uh, it was made of local stone, and it was on this block that all the houses were made out of local stone. And if they weren't made out of local stone, they would not be still standing. I'll just say that. They're very old. So this house has been converted into separate apartments, and I was living in a room that you had to walk through a bathroom to get to. And this room was also connected to another bedroom, but we just put furniture in front of it. So it kind of felt like a bedroom. So that's where I was staying. And the first night that I was sleeping there, I was woken up out of a dream. Don't know what I was dreaming about. And I saw this woman just like hovering over me, like looking at me. And I looked at her for a few seconds. And when she realized I was looking at her, I just saw her eyes get really wide, and she looked nervous, and she disappeared. I've never really given that a lot of credit because I was waking up out of a dream. You know, sometimes you just see things. I don't know, but when the next day, when I was leaving to go do something else, I was opening my door, going through the bathroom to get out of the house. I swore that I saw someone like crouched in the corner of the shower, and I thought that was weird. But because the night before and how I was like, it was probably just a dream, I'm probably just paranoid right now. I'm not going to give it any credit. So time goes on, right? And I get a cat. Love the little thing. She's precious, precious. And it gets to a point where, I'm 19. I'm a full time college student. Her food was more expensive than mine, and I couldn't afford to keep her anymore. So one of my friends took her, and I noticed as soon as she was gone that things started to get a little hairy. From that day forward till I moved out, every single day something happened. Didn't matter if it was daytime, nighttime, or anything. But that little figure that I had seen crouched in the shower was a little boy, and he was very upset that my cat was not there anymore. So what did he do? He terrorized me. Like it got to the point where I had to rearrange my room so when I would wake up and roll over in the middle of the night, I wouldn't see him because he would stand in the corner where I had my cat stuff as if like protesting that she was gone. And that was every single night from that point on. During the day, I would have hangers and clothes fly out of my closet. Did not matter. The door, that door would open, closet and clothes would just fall out. And it just became a normal thing. I would see him and I wouldn't think twice about it because I didn't want to engage. I didn't want to encourage it. So what I would do is I wouldn't say anything. If he was really scaring me, I'd go to someone else's house. I'd just dip out because child spirits, you don't know. You don't really know if it's a real child or not. I think that this was a real child because he was throwing tantrums and taking it out all on me. The scariest thing that ever happened with him, though, was I was doing laundry one day. I guess my cat had probably gone for a couple of months now, and I'd just become adjusted to seeing him. It wasn't anything new, and I was folding my laundry on my bed, and I watched him crawl out of my closet, look at me, and crawl underneath my bed.
Oh,
It actually
sorry,
makes me sick to my stomach even thinking about it because I don't know if you've seen any scary movie. It was horrifying. So yeah, I dipped. I didn't come back for 2 days because that was horrifying. And before I left, though, I did get on my hands and knees and look under the bed to see if he was there. One of my bravest moments of my life. He wasn't. At that point, I was already done. I didn't care that I didn't see him. I was done. So, my laundry was clean. It didn't matter. I dipped. And from that point on, it never got that bad again. But he was almost always in the shower when I would be leaving. And the way that our bathroom was set up, the mirror faced the shower, and there would be times where I would be getting ready and I would see his little stinking head pop up in the mirror. And I had to start sleeping with a face mask because I would roll over in the middle of the night and he would either be in the corner of my cat stuff or he would be at the end of my bed or be in another corner. It was something straight out of Insidious. And I'd say that's one of the worst ghost stories I have had in that house, definitely, because I never saw that woman again. There was one figure I kept seeing in the kitchen, but I never saw their face. They only stood with their back to me, so I think our timelines were just crossing or something, but no one else in the house that lived there ever had any encounters that I know of. And yeah, so that's how I was terrorized by a little child ghost spirit for having to get rid of a cat for being so poor, essentially. Jeez.
Bro.
Not even
This one
ghosts.
gives me the creeps just thinking about the little child
Yeah.
and her waking up and then seeing him just standing there. Like how do you
I,
how do you do that? I this is not the first time that I have seen or heard of somebody that has that ability to perceive ghosts or spirits
yeah.
and will see them and just gets accustomed to them. Like they get used to seeing them around. I don't think I
I
can do
don't
that.
either.
It's I would freak out so hard.
Not even ghosts care about you being poor. That's how bad our economy is.
Shoot.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this one was freaky. I think for sure she was a medium. If she's the only one that was able to see things and nobody else did.
Yeah, there's no explanation.
Well, that's the thing is like so we were talking about the previous story where we talk about how sometimes when you're like half asleep you can kind of see apparitions or
Yeah.
things because you're like half
Yeah.
dreaming.
Yeah.
Um, and so like when she starts this her story saying that there's a lady looking down on her and then they see each other and then she disappears. Like again, those types of experiences, I can see them as being like, oh, your brain is just still kind of dreaming
Right.
and just
Yeah.
projecting, right? But the fact that she
It's
saw
constantly seeing it.
this child every
Yeah.
day, uh, to the point where she got used to seeing him, like,
That
ugh,
sucks.
I can't. I have chills right now.
Yeah, I don't know why I have my lights so dark right now. I'm creeping myself out. I feel like something is gonna just grab me from my hand. How creepy would that be if you just saw a hand like?
That would be very creepy. I keep looking at the corners of my screen right here and like right here,
to make sure no
just
one.
expecting
Yeah.
just expecting to see like a little head. Like
You do own cats, so
I do.
don't get rid of your cats.
Well, I did give one away, and I didn't. That was 2 years ago.
Uh-oh. You better watch
I
your
haven't gotten
bed.
any. No, there's no. I still have one, so I guess the spirits in my house are still content.
I
with
mean,
the
it
one.
is a new build though, right? So there can't be a ghost.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's any cemeteries or any crazy stories around here. So I think I'm pretty safe unless a spirit or ghost is attached to me instead of my house, which I hear it's a thing. I hear that spirits will attach to you, not the house.
Isn't our houses built on like toxic wasteland though? That's what I heard
Yeah.
rumors. I don't know what's worse.
It
Being built on a toxic wasteland or built on a cemetery or burial ground.
yeah, I don't know. But you're right. We are We are on land that technically shouldn't
Uh,
have housing. But moving on
all right.
to
Here we
our
go.
last story of the night. And this one is told to us by at another millennial. She says, I got one for you. And this one sounds not even bizarre. It just sounds like I'm crazy. So if anybody has answers as to what the F I saw, let me know. We would stay at my great grandmother's house. That was a huge property, by the way, like huge. And it was a family reunion. We were the first ones to get there at that night. And in the room that we stayed in, it was huge. It was a huge room. It was able to fit 3 beds, 3 queen beds, and a wardrobe in the corner, along with our suitcases. It was a really big room. That is big. In that big room, there's a door that has. If you've ever been to Mexico, you know what I'm talking about. It's the windows that are blurry, usually found in shower doors. You can see figures on the other side, it's just not so clear. So this door had that window, and that door leads to another uh, small room or smaller room. I slept on a bed with my younger sister. Keep in mind, I'm 3, so my sister has to be 1.5, maybe 2. The first bed is away from the door. Right next to us is another queen bed, and that's my parents'. Across from us is another bed in the corner by that door, and it's my older sister's bed. She's sleeping by herself on that bed. This is where it gets a little crazy. I woke up in the middle of the night to tapping sounds. I remember sitting up on my bed and looking around the room like, what is that? Everybody was sleeping, my dad snoring, everybody knocked out. All the lights were off. The only light in the room was the moonlight. There is a window in that big room, and I remember it being so high, the moonlight casting in. On the other side of that little small room is also a window on the same side of the wall, and you can see the moonlight casting in on the other side of the room because it's bright. I remember looking into that door that leads into the small room, and I saw this hairy, dog-shaped man. I don't remember clearly, I only saw the outline of his face. I remember his face looking like a Yorkie, with a big snout and hair. But one thing I will never forget is his long fingers and nails. I swear, it was like a horror movie. He was making the tapping sounds, and I could see how long his nails were. I remember him pointing at me, gesturing for me to come and open the door for him. That sounds bizarre, but I remember him visibly getting upset because I wasn't going to open the door. I remember shaking my head and being like, no, I'm not. I felt so scared, like something inside me was warning me not to open that door. I saw him start getting frustrated and pacing back and forth past the window, then stopping at the door again, tapping and pointing for me to open it. My parents said that I woke up screaming, saying there was a dogman outside the window. My dad thought it was a man trying to lure me outside, so he hopped on the roof by the window where my sister was, but no one saw anything. My mom had to calm me down and put me back to bed. As soon as the lights went off and everybody fell back asleep, he started tapping again, and he was there again. I was so petrified that I slept with the covers over my head. When I woke up the next morning, I found out that I wasn't the only family member who had seen this dogman on the property. 2 other people in my family, like distant relatives, had also seen what this creature was, and they actually saw its face. To this day, I don't know what the F it was. I don't know if it was ancient or what, but if I close my eyes, I can put myself back there and remember vividly what he was doing, how he was pacing, how he looked. Those nails, the fingers. It was something that Pennywise would do. I have not seen that property in 20 plus years, but yeah, if anybody knows what it was, what it possibly may be, let me know.
Hmm.
I feel like I've seen this story before. Like I've heard of this before, not this story per se.
I'm trying to see. Huh. For some reason, that doesn't. I don't know. Doesn't scare me. The moment she lost
The
me at
dog man.
Yorkie.
It's the chupacabra.
Oh, that could be. Yeah, Yorkies are so. My parents have a Yorkie,
Oh,
so that's what I'm like imagining a cute animal
a cute
with.
little puppy man. Um, so I don't know what it is about young kids seeing figures that are always trying to lure them to them, you know?
Hmm.
I think it's interesting that in stories like that first one, she saw an apparition like her dad saying, "Come here," right? And like, I guess using his fingers or something, or at least that's what I'm kind of assuming. We see this story with this dog man who's also trying to get the girl to come to him, probably to open the door, but still.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. The closest thing that can describe this story is La Lechuza.
La lechuza. What the? That sounds very familiar.
It's a creature often described as a large owl with the face of an old woman. Not a Yorkie, but I mean I could see how a Yorkie looks like an old woman.
Like it could be.
According to the legend, La Lechuza is a witch who can transform into an owl, preying on children and drunkards at night. It's said to produce eerie cries to lure its victims and is deeply embedded in the folklore of northern Mexico and the Rio Grande Valley.
Wow.
I mean, it doesn't say anything about long fingernails, but I guess an owl kind of has long fingernails.
I mean, it could be. There's also, I mean, if we dive into the lore a little bit,
Yeah.
I feel like this is what oh shoot, now I forgot the name. Because I was gonna say the shapeshifter.
Oh,
Um
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
but anyway, like it's like this creature that apparently takes different shapes and
Yeah.
it like makes different sounds and it like either scares you like horribly or it again it tries to be like friendly towards you. I don't know. Which goodness. I've seen videos here and there and I've heard stories including these and I don't envy the people that have experienced that.
Chupacabra is another one.
Yeah, chupacabras.
Maybe that could be the more accurate. Oh, yeah, that looks more like it.
The chupacabra.
Yeah. Jeez, all these alerts on my phone are freaking me out.
Oh, the what?
These alerts on my phone, my notifications, the vibration on my phone.
Oh.
I'm like laying it on the table and it vibrates and it just freaks me out. I'm in this like very vulnerable, scared state right now. You know what? I need to do this before I go to haunted houses.
Get yourself like
Yeah,
read
you
a
know
bunch
what?
of scary stories
Yeah,
to kind of get in the mood.
because that's the thing about haunted houses for me. They don't do
They
anything.
don't scare anymore.
It's because I'm not in the mood. Like right now, if I went to the haunted house, maybe I'll get scared. Maybe I won't because I'm surrounded by a lot of people. Usually I'm more susceptible to being scared when I'm just by myself.
I get scared when I'm thinking about these things and I'm at home and if my cat makes a sound or even Amber if she says something then I'll be like ah it'll it'll scare me for sure. I don't know that I mean when I go to haunted houses I feel like I purposely try to get scared so I let down my guard as best as I can. But sometimes it's a little hard because I don't know.
I think it's because
Sometimes they're
you
just
know where you are.
yeah, but I think it also depends on who you're with, how many people are around you, and also how good the actors are.
Here's the
Because
problem is okay, yeah,
because I I've been with like I've been with large groups
yeah.
and it still can be very enjoyable. but I've also been with large groups, and it's just the 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 people at the front will maybe get a little jumpy, and maybe the people in the back.
I don't like being in the middle or the back.
If you're in the back, you know exactly what's happening.
You waste the scares. You waste your money, essentially.
And haunted houses are expensive these days, so
Seriously. See, here's the thing. Like, I think it's because I know it's a production. But if it's an actual haunted house, pff, chicken. I would be so chicken.
would you ever stay overnight
Heck
in a haunted house?
no. No way.
Really?
No way.
Not even for investigation?
Nah.
What if it was just a couple of hours, not a full night?
By myself with people?
Both.
Not by myself. No way. No way. Yeah.
But with people
With
you would?
people? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Yeah.
And you wouldn't stay overnight with a bunch of people?
No way, man. Maybe if I was the cameraman, because being the cameraman, you're more focused on like composition, all that stuff. You distract yourself, right?
Yeah, I guess a little bit.
I think that would be yeah. Ah, it's so weird how my fear, it's so black and white. Like if it's there's no gray area. It's such a fine line between will I get scared? Will I not get scared?
Interesting. Interesting. Well, we're just gonna have to try some new haunted houses this coming Halloween season.
Yeah, especially Horror Nights at Universal. Wait for that one. That's gonna be coming up. But hope you guys enjoyed the podcast tonight. Hope you enjoyed this episode. These are some really good stories. Let us know if you have any stories or any links to stories that freaked you out, and we'll go ahead and read it. I love them. We love them. So leave us in the comments what you thought of these stories, your own stories. Like and subscribe while you're there. Share these videos, so that way more people be aware of this channel and send their stories to us.
We just want all of them.
Yes.
We love getting scared
Yes.
with these. These are amazing. So,
Yep.
Thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next week. I am Gato.
And I'm Gabe. Take care.
Bye bye.